Foam Roll Friday. Welcome everyone. Today we are going to learn about foam rolls and we're going to do a foam rolling 101 workout. If you can call it a workout, it's more preventative care, self-care, and self-massage, but you will notice that you do have to use quite a bit of your core and upper body to hold you up on the foam roller, especially if you are new to foam rolling. So let me start today off by just doing a few intros. First of all, if you're new to my videos, my name is Tracy, and if you're just tuning in today, we're talking about foam rolling. So I'm going to give a variety of what foam rollers could look like. I'm going to tell you what they are, how to use them, and why you should care, and how you can hack a foam roller if you do not own one already. So as I said before, these are for a little bit of preventative maintenance against injury. These were originally created, I believe the story goes, back by the 3M company. They had these big foam rollers and they were using them to soak up excess oil in the ocean when there was a spill. Physical therapists got their hands on some of these foam rollers and thought, hey, these would be great for some of our patients to kind of roll out when they have knots, adhesions, or injuries going on. And that's kind of where they came from in the fitness industry. So you can see foam rollers have a variety of shapes, sizes, heights. If you are doing your foam rolling at home, you may have a big one like this with me, or you may have shorter ones. I'll be showing how to use either variation. And if you do not have a foam roller at home, you can still follow along with the class today. If you don't have a long roller, you could use a yoga mat or a rolled up towel. And if you do not have a shorter roller, you can go old school, use a rolling pin, a lacrosse, or a soft ball. Anything that you can roll on, that you put your weight on, that won't bend or explode on you. I wouldn't use a pop can or anything like that. So let's talk about a little bit more of what it does for us. If you can think of your body's muscles and organs as all having a spider web-like coating over them, that's what we call fascia. And our fascia is really important for muscle function, nervous system function. And if you can think of your fascia like a spider web here, spider web here, if they get stuck together and tangled up, that is what we refer to as a knot or an adhesion in, I guess, massage therapist language or physical therapist language. So if you get knots in your neck or in your back, you can foam roll those to help release knots, tension in muscles. It is also a way to ease muscle pain. It can increase your range of motion. A lot of college level programs for sports, they won't even work with their athletes until they do at least 5 to 10 minutes of foam rolling prior to practice. So we're seeing it in a lot of sports therapy arenas. For some people, it may reduce the appearance of cellulite, at least temporarily. So that's always a good benefit. It increases blood flow to areas that may need attention. For example, if you have very tight hamstrings, the back of your thigh, you might want to get a little more blood flow moving in. Foam roller helps with that. There is some evidence to say that it can help with inflammation. And again, fascia, that spider web-like material that covers our muscles, fascia help. So where can you get a foam roller if you do not already have one? We talked about, you can use your yoga mat or any type of a sturdy ball to roll on if you don't have one. But if you really like foam rolling and you want to purchase your own, any big box store right now sells foam rollers. Any sports goods stores sell foam rolls. Online, Amazon, any store like that will sell foam rollers. I've even seen them at Five Below in their workout section for super cheap. Why would you not want to use a foam roller? There are a couple of disclaimers for today. First of all, if you are in your second or third trimester of pregnancy, if that should apply to you, you would want to make sure that your doctor is okay with you using a foam roller. There are some things where you're laying flat on your back on a roller, and we know for women in their second and third trimester, you don't necessarily want to do that. If you have, if you're on medication for osteoporosis, or if you currently have osteoporosis, I would not do foam rolling today. I would just maybe watch, observe, and then talk it over with your doctor next time you see them. And there is some evidence to say that if you are on blood thinners, it may cause a little bit of bruising. So if you're on blood thinners, I would be careful. And of course, as I say in all my videos, if you have been instructed by a physician to not work out or not participate in an exercise program, I would just refrain from today's workout. Maybe watch, get some knowledge, and then talk about that with them next time you see them. So today, we're going to be starting with our longest foam roller lengthwise. If you do not own a long foam roller, if you're working with one of these little shorties over here, you're going to want to use your yoga mat. So you would place it lengthwise, or I'm going to use my foam roller here lengthwise, okay? But you could use your yoga mat as well. Make sure you have room to really spread your wings with your arms. And we are going to support from our head to our tail with the foam roll. We're laying on it. I'm starting you off with the nice part of foam rolling, the feel-good part of it. So notice my tailbone to my head is supported by the foam roll. I don't want my head hanging off. And I'm just going to get used to the feeling of my spine here on the foam roll or yoga mat, if that's applicable to you today. We're going to take a couple deep breaths into the belly. Take one more belly breath. And I just want you to start to lift your hands up towards the ceiling. We want to create a feeling of cupping the foam roll with our shoulder blades. So I want you to draw your shoulders down to the foam roll, and you're going to give it a little hug with your shoulder blades. You might feel like you're giving yourself a massage. That's the whole point. And then we're going to draw our shoulder blades away from the foam roll. So a little protraction and retraction. This part of the foam rolling usually feels good for people unless you have some major knots or adhesions going on in between your shoulder blades. And if you do, you can just hold into that feeling of massage, breathe into it. Next portion we're going to do in this first series, which is our shoulder opening series, is we're going to give a big old hug with our arms. You want the backs of your hands to be on the floor or as close as you can get without feeling pain, and you're going to slowly come up and give yourself a soft clap. So open and clap. Now, if you're feeling restriction in movement or like you have to force it down, I don't want you to force it down. I want you, if you naturally stop here, stay with that range and work where you are. And after a few, you might start to notice, oh, I loosen up a little bit, I feel good, I can go a little further. That's okay, because we're about to flip the script again. So, if you like this one, you can stay here longer, as long as you like. If you're ready to come with me into the next move, I'm going to perform a scissor sort of motion. So, one hand moves towards my hip, The other hand moves back behind my head. I'm not locking out my elbows. And again, if you notice your body has a natural catch, meaning right here your body doesn't want to go further than that, let's honor that natural catch. It doesn't mean you're bad at foam rolling. It doesn't mean that you're inflexible. It just means that that shoulder joint has a place it likes to be, and it's the boss. Let's take a couple more scissors here. If you notice you're loosening up and it feels good, you can stay a little longer. I'm going to start to move on to this next portion. I would like you to come to your football goalpost arms. So elbows are bent to 90 degrees, and just open and sit here with that. You're going to feel a big stretch in your chest. Why are we doing so much chest stretching? Because in our culture, we sit a lot and we have our chest very tight with computer work, driving, kind of always being in a slumped forward position. We want to counteract that by opening the chest. I'd like you just to stay here with 90-degree elbow and watch where I go from here. I'm going to spread my wings. I call this reverse snow angel. I want to ideally keep my hands in contact with the floor. You may notice you pop up a little bit. That's okay. We're going to start to glide our hands up, and you're going to have a natural catch where your body says, oh, I don't want to go further. Let's honor that. Then you're going to come down. Turn your palms down, and you're going to think of wiping up the floor around you with your hands. Some of you will be very mobile, and you'll be able to take your arms all the way up overhead. Some of us will be less mobile, and we won't be able to go as far. I'll show a couple of those. So if I need to stop right here, that's okay. Breathing in, breathing out. And you're going to feel this as a stretch, of course, in the chest, in the front of your shoulders, and maybe even where your bicep muscle connects in to the shoulder area. I'll take a couple more snow angels. And it is snowing out today. That's why I'm doing the foam rolling and not our outside hit. We're going to come back to that 90-degree elbow. Think football goalpost arms, and imagine your forearms and elbows, wrists, are melting down towards the ground. You may be very mobile. You might have your forearms on the ground right now, or maybe really not. That's okay. Let's take another deep breath into the belly. Exhale. Let it out. Slowly unwind your arms. Tuck your chin to chest, and you can start to sit to the side of your roller. So how did that feel? That was our nice foam rolling technique. We're about to move on to our less nice foam rolling techniques. This is, okay, the number one question I get is it supposed to hurt like this? The answer, unfortunately, is yes. Couple safety things I want you to keep in mind. Same disclaimer I gave you beforehand. Osteoporosis medication, if you're past your first trimester in pregnancy, or blood thinners, I would maybe not do this part. But also, for everyone's safety, you need to go slow. The rate of rolling when we do legs or any other body part is 1 inch per second. I see people doing this in the gym way too fast. Go very, very slow. The second big safety tip I want you to know is we never go on any joint. So we're going to be getting very close to our knees when we do our quadriceps or our hamstrings, but we're not actually going to be on the knee joint. That is important for you to know. I like to use my smaller foam roller when I do my legs. So if you're working with a shorty right here, go ahead and grab it. If you don't have a shorty, your yoga mat will not work for this part. So grab either your rolling pin or a sturdy ball, anything that, softball, anything that will work for you. We're gonna work into our quads first. I find this is the easiest one to teach, and I'm going to go side on view. I'm gonna work one quad at a time. If you're working with a really long roller today, you could probably do both thighs at once. So I'll start with the thigh closest to you. I am going to place my mid quad, my mid thigh, on the middle of my foam roller. Again, if you're doing both legs, just ignore that one at a time cue. You could drag your toe or you could lift your toe up, and you're going to perform almost a little army crawl, not onto the knee, but pretty darn close. So you're gonna let this other leg kind of slide with you, or you can scoot it up on the floor, roll forward, and then you're going to slowly roll back. Now, depending on how you're feeling, how your fascia is right now, you may notice little lumps and bumps that you're kind of rolling over. Are they supposed to be there? No. I mean, you'll naturally feel your muscles, your quads are made up of 4 different parts. That's why we call it the quadriceps, and you might feel a little bit of a bumpiness when you hit those different areas of your quads, but if you feel like you're rolling over something like a marble, that's a knot or an adhesion. So just continue to roll through slow here. We're not going to the knee, but we're getting really close. And you may notice those attachment sites closer to the knee and hip. It gets really kind of icky and tight in there. And again, is it supposed to hurt like this? Yes, it is. Okay, let's see how the other leg is doing. So if you're a person that's working with a longer roller, you're just going to want to stay on the quads. Keep on working them both at once. If you're with me, switch your leg. You can notice here how I have my supporting knee kind of out sideways. You can always use a cushion under that knee if you find it's hurting you. We want to roll along the entire length of the muscle and this quads. They go up all the way towards our hip. So get all the way up by that hip crease, almost up to that hip crease, and then almost to the knee, but not quite. You might notice you're using a lot of upper body strength to hold you here, and you're holding your belly in almost like you would in a plank. If your quads are still feeling really problematic, you could go ahead and stay on them. If you're coming with me, it's time for hamstrings. Hamstrings are the back of our thigh, and this is where a lot of people notice some issues going on. I'm going to slide my roller, whether you have a short or a long roller or a rolling pin, under my knees. Now, I'm not actually going to be rolling on my knees when I get into position. You can probably fit, even if you have a shorty, both your legs on one, but we are going to be changing that shortly. What I want to do is put my hands behind me. I'm going to lift up my butt, lift up my heels, and just take a couple rolls forward and back. Now, you may notice you have to do this one. Pick your butt up, roll forward, set down, pick your butt up, roll forward, roll back. That is a good technique if you don't have the arm length to be able to glide long. After a couple glides, we're going to crisscross our ankles. This is going to put more pressure on that bottom ankle, on that hamstring. So crisscross your ankles, lift your butt up, and glide as far forward as you can. You may have to set your butt down, pick it back up, roll through. We're going to the crease of where our butt cheek and our back of our thigh meet. And we're moving very slow. Chances are you're going to feel some icky stuff going on in there. If you feel something that is kind of like you're rolling over bubble wrap, or you're rolling over, I don't know, marbles again, yeah, those are knots. Continue to move slow. I got a big one on this leg. I have a big knot on this leg. So there are more advanced techniques that I will probably show in a later video. Today I'm just showing very basic things. We're going to switch to the other side when you are ready, and you're going to feel a difference. You're going to feel how this side is not bad at all for me. This side I'm gliding pretty smooth. We think we're really symmetrical, and we always do all the same stuff on each side of the body, but not really. And pay attention if you feel pain or discomfort radiating somewhere else in the body when you roll over any of these little knots. Might be getting a couple trigger points in there. You can spend much longer on this if you like. I'm going to move on to our next muscle set, which is the glutes, the butt. Show you how to get the glutes, and then we'll transition to a little bit of hip. When you do this, face me head on. We're going to sit our butt up on the foam roller. And I don't know what it is, but whenever I teach this one, there's always a few people that slide off. Get your booty back up on the roller and bend your knees, put your feet on the floor. So I don't want this. I want you to have your knees bent. That's very purposeful. Your hands are behind you, your butt is on the roller, and your knees are bent. We are going to extend, listen up, right. Extend your right. Place your right ankle over thigh, and shift your right butt cheek onto the center of the roller. The knee points slightly down. Do not roll off of the roller. We're rolling across the apple of our butt cheek. And you don't just want to stay in one little place. You want to try to roll through the entire length of your glute, so you're coming almost to your low back. Almost. And then you're rolling through almost where your hamstring comes in. So you got to go a little further than you think is necessary. To make this more about the hip, transition your hands to the right and move your hip down towards the block, or towards the roller rather. And then you're going to notice you're getting more of your hip area or side glute area. Okay, let's get the other side. You can spend a long time on those glutes if you like. Again, sitting up top, hands behind you. Extend the left, cross left over. If you have your legs straight, it's not going to work. You got to keep them bent up. Turn your left butt cheek onto the roller and roll forward and back. Woo. Again, notice one butt cheek might be worse than the other. try to get along the whole length of the butt cheek. And if you'd like to make it more about the hip, transition your two hands towards the left, roll more of the side of your hip onto that roller, and move through. If you find a bad spot, you can always sit on it for a moment. And go ahead, slowly transition yourself off of the foam roll. We have two more pieces of our foam rolling. This next one, it's debatably one of the more difficult places to foam roll. It's difficult because people have a hard time tolerating the weight that they put into the roller. So learning how to regulate your pressure onto the foam roller is very important. For example, if I'm doing a push-up, I'm going to just try to talk about regulating pressure. If I'm doing a push-up, I could really hold myself up with my own strength and do it very controlled, or I could flop myself down. I don't want you to flop yourself down. I want you to keep your muscles at tension, and I want you to keep yourself buoyed up. That way you can tolerate rolling this group. This is called your iliotibial band, the IT band. This is a piece of connective tissue that runs from the side of your hip towards the side of your knee. This is not, well, there is a muscle involved in this, the TFL. However, this band of connective tissue, it doesn't stretch like your muscles do. The only thing it responds to is pressure. Like if you get a sports therapy massage, it's not a relaxing massage. That's how we release this IT band on the side of our leg. We're going to do that with the foam roll. So please follow. If you're using a longer roller today, you need to have your hip towards the very front edge of it. We're going to place our hip towards the front edge of the roller. And you could be on a hand. I'm going to start a little bit further back. You could be on a hand or on an elbow. I like being on an elbow. Take your top leg, bring it to the front. This top leg will not stay in one place. You'll have to learn how to move it with you, okay? We're gonna see if we can lift up this bottom leg, and you might already be like, this is not good. I would like you to do a sideways army crawl, very slow, and come almost to the side of your knee, but not directly on. And then start to slowly roll back through to your hip. Now I do this one a lot. I think most days of my life I do IT band release. So I'm able to tolerate it and talk pretty well through it. You might not be looking too good right now. It's okay. If you are making a face, if you feel like you're holding your breath, I need you to breathe. I need you to breathe big. Continue to roll through. If you are a person who is a regular foam roller, you can create more pressure for yourself by stacking your legs. And if you're newer to foam rolling and you're like, dear sweet baby Jesus, how is she stacking her legs right now? It's just, the more you practice, the more tolerable this gets. And I'll let you off. Okay, bad news is we have two sides. So let's do the same exact set, opposite side of the body. You can have your legs stacked or top leg in front. You choose. And moving your body with the foam roller helps, so that way you don't hurt the shoulder or anything when you're trying to roll through. I like to stack my legs. The last foam rolling technique I have for you today is a nice one. It's a feel-good one, so it makes up for this. You can spend a while on those IT bands. Ooh. We're almost done. Let's roll it back towards our hip. Oh boy. Okay. If you're a person that suffers with tension headaches, stress headaches, this next one's going to be a good one for you. We're going to get the occipitals. Now, this is not a sexy muscle group that you've heard about before probably, but your occipitals are in the back of your skull. They're right here. So we're going to work on massaging those out, and when we get stress and tension headaches, a lot of times the occipitals are really tight, and this one feels very good. I'm going to take my hair, now I'll keep it in the braid. I think I'm okay with that. You'll lay down, and you'll find your roller, long, short, rolling pin, whatever. You'll find it at the base of your skull. Now you're not putting your actual neck vertebrae on the roller, you're above that. So the base of your head. Hands are down by your side. And we're going to slowly shake our head left to right. We're saying no to tension headaches. Now you may notice one hemisphere, one half of your skull feels like, oh wow, I didn't know there was a muscle back there that was tight. If it feels tight, you can stay on one side and kind of draw some circles, just very gentle. You're not overly crunching that neck vertebrae, cervical vertebrae as we would call it. And you can change sides, do a couple circles on this side. And you could go back side to side. You could always just stay in place too. Take one more slow nod to the right and left. And come center. Palms down. Lift away. Come on up. I will give you another tip too, that hydration is really important when we do foam rolling. Ideally, you would have drank a little water before the foam rolling, and I didn't mention that ahead of time, but definitely after foam rolling. You want to drink maybe a glass of water, make sure you're hydrated throughout the day, kind of opened up some spaces in our body that were maybe very tight, and then we're going to want to fill in with a little bit of H2O, get some of those tissues and fascia hydrated again. So I hope you enjoyed your Foam Rolling 101. Next week we'll be back. Hopefully the weather will be nicer and I'll be able to do that outdoor hit for you. If not, we'll be doing some more yoga for sure. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Friday. Namaste.